As a little introduction, how easy and fast it is to create all the different types of level elements within the CryEngine 2 editor. We have here in our environment system now a quite longer view distance. It's not just like maybe in other engines 1,000 kilometers with a big fog effect like this that you can see up here, 1 kilometer, but we have up to 16 kilometers view distance without slowdown because we got a integrated LOD system, so the terrain is optimized and the trees are optimized. So even though we have 2 million polygons on screen, its frame rate is pretty good. So together with this long view distance, we thought about integrating a 3D cloud system, so you can actually move inside the clouds, or they travel around, so they are not statically baked into the skybox anymore. Let's move down a bit. Maybe here to the city. Let me show you the how we light the level. The lighting is done with our time of day lighting system. So you can say where the sun should rise, and you can say how bright it is, and what type of fog settings you can have, 0.5 maybe. As you move to the night, we get a star map. It's not a texture of the stars. So really, it's a generated texture based on a position where you are on the Earth. So the sky map automatically updates them. Also, you might notice the shadows are updating in real time. They are really, smooth, soft shadows. So even though they are real time, there's not a disadvantage using them. It's a huge benefit. It allows us to have fully destructible environments, as the shadows will update in real time, and there's no missed it. Okay, I got it. So, but you can see how nicely the shadows are updating, and there's no baking into this. Let's talk a little bit more about destructible environments. For example, for buildings, we defined certain breakpoints. For example, here at this point, the building can break. So this is all set up by artists. They tell you where it should break. Let's throw some hand grenades, and bada boom, it breaks. And you see basically all the shadows here getting updated. There's no and they are resting, so there's no intersection happening anymore. About the creation tools, we get the integrated vegetation system, and the vegetation system allows the designer to literally paint forests and other type of natural environments based on certain functions, for example density or the elevation. So obviously underwater there should not be trees growing. So with all this set up and almost just one mouse click, you build your little forest. Let's make this not so fast. You build your little forest, and you can move around certain elements, rotate them, and make basically the forest as dense as you want to have them. And then on the ground, there's obviously right now there's grass. Let's turn on the procedural vegetation. So these are distributed objects based on the ground coverage. For example, if I paint the forest texture, I defined within the vegetation system there should be little plants growing on them, and I can also define how dense this should be. For example, let's change the density to a bit more, and there will be more plants growing here, or put it back and make the size variation different. general size different. And they automatically update in real time. It's a huge benefit when creating levels to have all these controls, so you can tweak them and define them depending on how dense you want to have the combat here in the section. About the terrain modification, we get different tools. For example, the normal terrain sculpting tool is like here. You modify the height map, and you can say, oh, I want to have it this high. Oh, I want to cut in here some mountain, and the shading obviously get also updated in real time. You build a flat section and you paint on this section, for example, grass. And what you can do is you can say where the texture should be painted on. For example, this one I allow only to paint on a slope up to 45 degrees. So I paint here, and even though my cursor is over the steep section, it doesn't get painted there. Whereas on the other side, if I paint the cliff is just from 45 to 90 degree angle. So even if I paint on the grass, it's not painted on. So you can pretty quickly texture a level with these functions. As you might know, the height map is just a 2D thing that is extended up, and we can create mountains that are up to 10 kilometers high. We also have a voxel tool, and the voxel tool allows us to build 3D terrain, really 3D terrain, where stuff goes out of the height map, like for example here, or inside the height map, like we use for caves or other kind of cool phenomena. Inside here you can obviously also texture this or smooth it out. Then you walk inside and the geometry automatically got updated. So there's no slowdown, no re-exporting. All this is pretty easy to sculpt out.